Hello and welcome back to another video. Today here again on Test Drive Unlimited 2 with the unofficial patch and Project Paradise 2 mods installed to take a look at and hopefully buy three raging bulls, the Lamborghini Countach, Gallardo Superleggera and the Aventador. So let's jump into the garage and get going over to the first of the dealerships. As you can see, I have already got a Lamborghini, so let's avoid that for now. And take something interesting over to the dealership. Quickly though, for those who are less familiar with the Test Drive Unlimited games, the second installment of this series never featured Lamborghini in the base game back when it launched in 2011 or in any of its kind of official updates. The three that are in-game now were added as part of the unofficial patch after the servers shut down and everything, but actually quite a long time ago now they were added into the game. If you want to know more about the unofficial patch and Project Paradise 2, I did make a separate video on my first experience with these mods a little while back, which gives some more information, so I'll link a card thingy here somewhere if I remember, if you want to know more about them. But basically the unofficial patch adds some new content, and Project Paradise 2 opens up some new servers so that we can play online again. Anyway, let's head back to where we were in the Spiker and go and have a look at these Lamborghinis. I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe all the car models for these are based on Forza ones. The sounds, though, seem to be a lot better than in any Forza game from when I've test-driven them, given its test drive. So yeah, I'm not sure where they were from or how they were done, but anyway. Let's start then with the oldest of the three vehicles, which means heading down to the classic Italian dealership here, which has some other goodies in it, as you will see as we head on in. Because not only is it home to Lamborghini, but there are of course some Lancias and Ferraris in here. Interestingly though, the new things, well, new to me at least, are some of the DLC cars that I never had back in the day. The Ferrari F40 and the Ferrari 250 GTO. There are also some other very nice things here. However, today is of course all about Lamborghinis, so let's head over to the Countach straight away, which of course being test drive means choosing many specs and options, including things like green interiors. As it's a Lamborghini though, I'm going to go completely mad. I have already kind of decided what I want it to be like, so that I don't spend hours speccing it now. I'm going to go with the Malibu Sunset Yellow, because bright yellow. And I'm going to pair that with a blue interior, I think. Although it is very tempting to go green and yellow, but yeah, I think indigo blue on yellow. Perfect. See what I mean about the sounds? They're just better. And the fact I own a Lamborghini that I bought from a dealership is just infinitely cool. Suppose we should drive it. Can you? Yes, you can even see the indicators on the dashboard. I know that's a very silly thing to get excited about, but a lot of the cars in this game you can't. So if you're driving from interior view, it's impossible to know if your indicator is still on or not. So like I can see it still flashing away and put it off. Anyway, shall we put our foot down and see what it sounds like? The Countach we actually have in Test Drive Unlimited 2 is surprisingly fast given its age, although it is one of the later models, being the Countach 5000 QV, meaning it produces 455 horsepower from its V12, propelling it from 0 to 60 in 4.44 seconds and onto a top speed of 184 miles per hour. I was actually slightly surprised it wasn't more expensive here in game. It's actually only $152,000, which is still a lot of money, but for a classic Lamborghini, it's not really too bad, is it? Yeah, slightly difficult when you kick the back end out in this game. It's not the most intuitive to correct. So, for the other two cars today, we have to come across to the modern Italian dealership, which I have actually driven all the way to in the Countach, because, well, I've been really enjoying it, to be honest. Despite being a classic Italian car, it drives rather nicely here in game. Anyway, we are here. The dealership that's traditionally home to some beautiful Zondas and Alfa Romeos, but now some Lamborghinis too, which were always an obvious omission from this game, particularly after they were in TDU1. Of course, we had like Murcielagos and things like that back in that game. But anyway, yeah, these are all the Alfas and Zondas that are usually here, but we also have some Lamborghinis. The Gallardo doesn't seem to be on display, which may be because I've bought one, or it may be random. Because that was actually the car I was going to spec first. So I'm going to see if going out and back in again works. So yes, I was going to say, before I didn't find a Gallardo and had to exit and come back in again, we should continue in chronological order through the cars and start with the Gallardo and, of course, move to the Aventador afterwards. So yes, I have already bought one of these, because the Gallardo is probably my favourite of the three cars, which a lot of you will probably know by now. So yeah, I love it so much that I actually bought one when I was streaming this game the other evening, so I already have one. Still, I don't see any problem with having two of such a beautiful and great-sounding car. So let's buy another one, in a slightly different spec to the previous one, and yes, spend $244,000 more on a car I already have. So there's only one wheel option, which is simple, and there are many lime greeny colours. There's Verde Scandal. There's no Verde Mantis, interestingly, but I think that might be a newer colour. There's Verde Speranza, which is the colour I have on my existing Gallardo that you probably spotted at the beginning of the video. Giallo Halis, Arancio Borealis, Aranico, which I think is supposed to be Arancio, Azzurro Aquarius, Blue Celium, Rosso Andromeda, and black. So I think it's got to be another bright colour. It's got to be either a red, probably that blue, that red, that blue, or yellow. I have a green one, so I think I'm going to go red.
Here are the keys to your new car.
What's a lovely, lovely car. I do absolutely love the Lamborghini Gallardo. The only V10 car that we're looking at today, the other two, of course, being Lamborghini V12s. Pretty much the same engine, probably. The base engine in the Countach and the Aventador. Anyway, shall we get a Gallardo startup? Yeah, unfortunately it's quite hard to start it without revving it, so then you kind of lose the startup sound, because you get that room and then you get the revving. Anyway, yeah, unfortunately that isn't my first time experiencing that sound. I got rather more of a shock how brilliant it sounds when I did that with the first Gallardo on stream. But yeah, absolutely fantastic car. Shall we go? Absolutely love it. So yes, that's why I was excited about the indicator on the interior of the Countach, because I did discover the other night when I was driving this, if we flip to interior mode, if we indicate, it comes up, and like, Look at the definition of the dashboard. It's so crisp. I am playing this in 4K definition, which helps. You guys are probably seeing it in 1440p because of recording limitations, but... yeah, so it's really clever using Forza models, but I think not their sounds. Because the models in that game are actually fantastic for a lot of... well, if we ignore the 20-year-old models that they haven't updated, some of the cars are very well modelled. I think the Gallardo's not bad. So you use a good bit from that game, but you don't copy the sounds, because... this sounds so much better. This is where I find out it is actually a file from there. No. There's definitely something... there's definitely something better sounding about it. Whoa. I love this. And being test drive, it feels so much like you own the car. I'm just absolutely loving driving my Gallardo. It feels like it's my Gallardo. Honestly, I could drive this car from interior view all day long, so... all-wheel drive means it doesn't kick the back out either. It's fantastic launching out of there. So anyway, after much driving of this fantastic Gallardo, which I love, of course, it's a Gallardo, even more than I was loving the Countach. It's that much newer, that much faster, all-wheel drive. But yeah, I thought it was time to come back and... thank you very much for that. Test the Aventador, because it's only fair to come back and test the newest of the 3 Lamborghinis that are now in this game. Let's hope it's there, because RMG dealerships... there it is, hiding away in blue. Interestingly, every time I've come in here, the Gallardo is this colour. The Aventador seems to change, which is another thing that was added as part of the Project Paradise 2 mod. It's a server-side thing, I think, that randomizes the cars in the dealerships. Anyway, here we have the Aventador, which I've just realised I'm $100,000 short for. So I may have to sell one of my Gallardos. I do have 2, so I will probably sell the red one. The green was my favourite colour, which is why I bought it before, of the colours listed in this game. Anyway, Aventador, newest, fastest version of the car. So, we have wheel options, which we didn't have on any of the others, so this is going to probably take longer than any of those did. This might have to wait till I've chosen the colour. I prefer this style, but I don't know whether I'm going black or silver. Probably silver. Then we have Snakeskin Green Pearl. What a name for a colour. Very Orange Pearl, which I thought Very Orange was a Nissan colour. Anyway, we've got Snakeskin Green, Blue Metallic, Red, Yellow, and White. So I do already have yellow on the Countach, and I have green on the Gallardo that I'm keeping, although that does look fantastic, that colour. The orange looks a bit off, so I think, realistically, it's red on this one, and then I sell the red Gallardo. Or I go green with... that doesn't do anything, the tan. Or I go green with black wheels. That does look good, actually. I think I'm going to go silver and red, though. And yeah, all of these look exactly the same, so I'm not going to worry about... I'm going to go with the red interior colours. And then if we find... oh, I'm not going to know which Gallardo's which, am I? That's annoying. That one's in with those cars, so I think that must be my first one. Yeah, I think I figured it out. Okay, we've got it. It's that one.
Here are the keys to your new car.
I hope. We shall find out later. So now I've got a red Lamborghini, a yellow Lamborghini, and a green Lamborghini. Oh no, really? I should have got red, white, and green, shouldn't I? Then I could line them up and I'd have an Italian flag. I might have to repaint the Countach white. Back in a V12 again. The fastest and newest Lamborghini we're going to look at today. In a straight line, at least. I would hope a Gallardo would handle slightly better. A Superleggera, at least. Oh, you even get that very well-known, quite aggressive gear change in the Aventador, because it's single clutch, or the Gallardo, probably. Anyway, it really jolts as you engage the next gear. As it should, as it's supposed to. We need to do the indicator test. Yes. Functioning interior indicators. Oh, I have to say, actually, from interior view, I think this might be the best sounding of the three. Listen. Even just the base model Aventador, if we can really call it that, produces 691 horsepower, so it's nearly at 700 just when the base model came out, which takes it from 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds, where the Gallardo was 3 something, and onto a speed of 220 miles an hour to the Gallardo's 201. So yeah, it did progress quite a long way from one car to the next. I know the Gallardo's V10 model and this is V12 model, so technically this replaced the Murcielago, but still. The only shame is actually with these three, is that none of them are convertibles. Convertible Lamborghini around Hawaii just seems perfect. I'm enjoying this one more than I thought I would, actually. I thought the Gallardo would by far be my favourite, but this feels pretty good, actually. So then, that just leaves moving my new 3 favourite cars. No, not quite, but moving my 3 new Lamborghinis to my favourite garage and finding out if I've kept the right Gallardo, which indeed I have. I did indeed manage to figure out the list correctly. So that's here, yeah. So we just need to move the other 2 here, maybe get rid of that purple thing in the corner, and something else. Perfect, so this garage now has the 430 Scuderia Spider, one of my favourite Ferraris, although generally I don't like the brand so much. My 2 Astons, of course, my convertible DB9 and my DBS. My 3 Lamborghinis, the Gallardo in that fantastic green colour. Absolutely love that choice. The Aventador in the red, which actually here in the garage looks really good in that colour. And, of course, the Countach in the yellow, which has blue seats. So we've got yellow, blue, red and green going on here. And of course my Spiker and SL65. I would say that's looking like a pretty perfect garage now. Anyway, that is going to be all for today's video, taking a first look at the 3 Lamborghinis in the unofficial patch for Test Drive Unlimited 2. Super happy to see them all here, particularly that Gallardo Superleggera, although the Aventador I enjoyed more than I thought I was. But yeah, all complete with actually great sounding engines and functioning indicators both outside and inside, which is absolutely great to see them in a game where that is a possibility. Do let me know your thoughts on the 3 Lamborghinis in today's video, but for now that is going to be all, so thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with the next one very soon.